let's talk about power and how to increase it in Sword Fighter Simulator. Hey, little beloveds, it is Sister Critter. Hopefully having a great day. I'm having a great day. We're back today in Sword Fighter Simulator on the lovely Roblox because we're going to be going over power. Power is what you use to ascend. It's your base damage. It's super, super important in this game. So I'm going to tell you some very, very simple things you can do in order to increase it, because I get a lot of people commenting about how they're stuck or they need help. So after I talk to them, usually these three things, once we kind of work through them, it's usually pretty easy to fix. So if you have not already, please make sure you smash the like button, do the same subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. Let's get right into it. So first things first, whenever you travel to a brand new zone, like say you're just entering Mythic Mines for the first time, you're like, oh, shiny. Okay, where's the rarest sword? What do I got to kill for the rarest sword? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Because it's going to take you a while to get the rarest sword, which means you're not going to be earning your fullest potential of power. Sometimes even those less rare swords can give you a good amount of power and be a big differential between the second and previous zone. These are weapons from two different zones. This is a godly from a previous zone, and this is the actual like base level weapon. As you can see, just maybe getting something a lower rarity from another zone can actually increase your power by a lot. What is that? That's almost times 6. That times 6 the amount of power you gain a swing. That's a big difference right there. And that's not even tiered up. Now, the next thing I want to comment is tearing your weapons up. So even if you don't have like the super big wing slayer, it's always really good to tear these weapons up, because this base weapon is 18 QI. The divine version, which is after you get 5 of them, it equals to 36 QI. And if we go to a godly form, it's 54 QI, which I'm going to let you know that's over 3 times the original base. So sometimes it may just be better to farm up those smaller weapons until you can get something bigger. Now, this is something a lot of players are like, I don't want to do. But that's something I do in my noob to pro, and it actually lets that account kind of move pretty quickly. A lot of people like to rush, and they like to rush through levels. Take some time, get some decent weapons in that zone, and then move on. That's kind of my big tip right there, is it's okay to take some time. It's okay to be slow. Most people rush from the beginning of the game to the end. So, weapons. Upgrade your weapons. Try and get stuff that's upgraded, okay? This godly axe compared to getting a golden rapture, let's take a look at the stats and how easy it would be to actually get them from the mobs from the last zone. Okay, there's a godly axe, there's a golden rapture. Mind you, I have boosts. I have game passes. Yeah, 20% easier to get a golden rapture than it is to get a godly axe from the warlock. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of easy to get from the paladin. You can't get it from the smaller guy, but that's a big difference, which means work on your smaller stuff first and then try to get to the bigger stuff. Now, the order that I'm doing stuff in, because swords is always going to give you more power than anything else in the game. Just FYI, swords is your main cup of tea. I'm going to give you an example. My divine secret gives me 20xx power. This guy only gives me a multiplier of 16 billion. Guess what gives me more? So the next thing we're going to work on is enchants. You're like, what? Enchants for your weapons make a big difference, okay? There is a big difference between this Jolly 5 Soulbreaker and this one right here. This one would be made more for damage. This is more of a damage weapon. This is going to give me more power. So being mindful of the enchants, and those are even better than the base, because the base one of these only gives 20 SX, which means if I don't have any enchants, I'm not getting bonuses. I still will get a lot of power with this weapon. However, it gets even better because it has Flurry 2 on it. So make sure you're getting enchants. I would highly recommend speed enchants, but if you for some reason do what Sister did and get the Jolly 5, which is a 75 increase to power, yeah, go for that one. Go for that one. Or Christmas Spirit, or if you get Godly, or you get Mighty, one of those. But speed is always preferred just because it helps with DPS. But, I mean, that's another way to increase your power. Get enchants. That's going to give you what? This Flurry basically increases the speed by 30%, which means I'm getting 30% more power. which that's even more than my pets. So a lot of people are like, oh, let's go hatch us something super. No. The next thing, when you see this bar down there, make sure you're clicking as fast as you can, as fast as your little heart can. I'm not clicking as fast as I can right now because I don't have auto swing turned on. This is going to give you basically 45 seconds of boost for free. So easy. This is going to be another good way to increase your power, at least for a short period of time. It may give you just that little bit of boost that you need in order to get on up. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is boost. So as you play the game, especially during this Christmas event, you are going to get power boosts. These drop from presents. These also drop from ticket chests. Which if you're like, what do you mean ticket chests? I'm talking about if you go over here, the things that are out there that give tickets, the raid tickets, they actually will drop boosts on occasion. So go and farm those. Those are a really good resource. Boosts are also going to multiply your damage. Use them like when you are maxed out and you're stuck on the end of a zone. So say you're in Skull, which Skull's actually pretty easy to get through, and you're on the boss, but you're like, I can't quite kill the boss like within about 30 seconds. Then go use a power boost to get your power up. Now, next thing that's also going to help, that's actually entirely free, is the Swordmaster. So in Skull, if you go over here and smash your face against this guy and interact with him, you're going to start his swing quest. Now, what the swing quest is going to do is give you an increased base attack speed. This is going to give you more power over time because as you're sitting there with your auto swing on, you know, talking to mom and dad, this would be a really good thing to use. Because it basically is free swings. It's free extra swings every single time you're in the game. Over the course of an hour, it's going to make a big difference. Next thing I see a lot of people missing, and I actually saw another content creator not realize this was like, you could scroll down on these. Get your boosts. Go back through every single zone and work on these. Get these power gains up. That's 250% power gain. That's a lot, okay? So I'm going over the things that are going to make the most impact on your game. That is basically going to change your game. Now, let's go to the stuff that makes less of an impact, but still is important. The next thing we're going to be talking about is my favorite thing, relics. Relics make a big difference on your damage and on your power. So go take the time, even if you are a single player and you can't get carries, go and try and get some relics. If you're like, I can't get anything decent, the stuff I only have gives me 600, I'm going to give you some tools in order to try and get better relics. There are people on the main Discord that do carries all the time. Just go check it out. It's in their dungeon tab. I do carries on occasion, but yes, I'm also got a lot of people trying to get in at once, so I can't always give carries to people. There are other content creators that do carries. I would recommend going and checking them out. Raph also does carries as well. So that would definitely be a tool, is trying getting on in. Yes, each content creator does them differently, so kind of be respectful of how they choose to do them. You may have to do extra steps, but that's per content creator. Next thing to help with your power, I would recommend hatching, and not for any pet in particular, but this is just so that you can get the Eggmaster quest going. The Eggmaster gives you luck every time you cycle through one of his quests, and it increases more and more. This is going to help not only with pets, this is also going to help with your weapons. This increases your overall luck, which is going to be super, super helpful. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is pets. Pets do increase your power. So yes, it is a good idea to farm up pets. If you have a 10 power pet and you come to this zone, what's the power on like the Pingu? Give me a Pingu. No, stop hatching. I don't want all the Pingu. Oh god. That's a 17.5 per multiplier increase from Festive Cat to Pingu. So if your pets are out of date, yeah, go take some time and go get some new pets. It doesn't need to be like your top priority compared to like getting weapons, in my opinion, but definitely do that. It's definitely worth it. Now, the last thing I do want to talk about is the events. Honestly, when you see Darkness is Rising, that is more of a hatching event, in my opinion, because that's going to release the rare secrets. This egg doesn't have a secret, so I can't exactly show you. But when Darkness arises, if you go and attack the mobs that give mythical swords, you have an increased chance of getting drops. So if you want to know what I'm talking about, wait until the next Darkness. go over here to this tab and start checking to see your mythical drops, which means you got to go fight the boss, but you have a higher chance of getting those mythical drops, and you may be able to get a better weapon. And the last thing is, if you see a blood moon rises, so if you're not needing blood moon mobs, just FYI, when the blood moon rises, these mobs will almost instantly respawn, and your drop chances are increased. So that'll help you get power a lot, because you may be able to get a sword, which getting better swords or getting another of a sword so you can combine them is super, super helpful. I would recommend doing that. Again, going to help you out a lot. So, plebs, that is my tips and tricks for increasing your power. A lot of the things are really, really simple. It's stuff I might do in my Noob to Pro. So if you want an example of that, the next episode of my Noob to Pro will be out tomorrow. And he's already getting pretty far. So I checked that out. So plebs, thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see y'all next time.